There's this new coloring trend that I've been loving where people just take any coloring page, split it in half, and then color each side as an opposite, like hot and cold, summer, winter, heaven, hell, colorful, dark. You get the idea. And I really wanted to try it today. So I'm going to start in my coloring book, Love, because I have here a page with two characters that I think it's going to be easy to turn into an angel and a devil. And yes, I'm going to start super simple, but this is my first time doing this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some features on these two so that they look more like an angel and a devil. Now that I've altered them a bit, I'm going to lightly erase the pencil lines to make them lighter. Because this is a simple idea on page to begin with, I don't want to color these two characters super flat. So I've been getting ready by trying some color combinations and gradients. And of course, I've been using my coloring companion that I haven't created and where I test things and record things so I remember how to do them. I want to try to color them differently. I don't want like solid red or solid white for the devil and the angel. So I've tried different things and now I'm going to try to do a gradient. And I'm a little bit worried. I think I'm going to start small with the arms or something because the heads are really, really big and that's a big, scary blend. Like I said, I'm starting with the arm, playing it safe. Okay, that went well. So I'm going to move on to the body and I'm going to do the head now, which is scary because of its size. That's a large area to blend. I put a glow, or actually a line of the baby blue to this one side just to bring a little bit more life to it. It's just an artistic choice, not really related to make the blend better. I just wanted a little bit of color on that side too. And now I'm just going to go ahead with my plan, going back and forth until I get this blend right. And the paper got super damp by doing this, and my gray marker almost died. And it's not looking great because of that, but I'm gonna give it time to dry and see if it looks better after. I'm also starting on the arm of this other cat just to be safe with the darker colors. I wanted to test them before moving on to the largest area. This head was definitely harder to blend, but I think at the end it worked, and I'm just gonna add the pink on top to give it that punch. I want these colors to connect somewhere, so I'm doing that on the bottom of the heart. I'm starting on the middle using the light purples from each side as the merging point, and then I'm repeating the same gradient with the same colors of the characters moving away from the middle. I'm doing the light side first, and then I'm going to do the dark side, moving to the dark purple and then finally to pink. Okay, I'm happy with this blend. I think it worked even better than on the cats. So now to color everything else. I'm putting color down on the wings and the horns, and of course for these horns I'm going to have to touch them up with acrylic marker later to cover the original lines. For the drink, I thought it would be fun to have it be a mix of the two sides where both things connect, so I'm just going to color stripes of the colors that I use for both cats, and I'm going to let these blend. I'm going to use this light green for the halo instead of yellow because I was trying blends with this color and I like the green with the teal and the purple. Now I'm going to outline everything that I added with this marker to match the rest of the illustration. Both cats are now dry, so I'm going to add some hard shadows with my markers, using the same markers I used to color them. And finally, I'm going to use this acrylic pen to cover the horns and then outline them too. I finished, but it was looking a little bit empty, so I'm risking adding a background, and I'm going to keep it simple by just drawing colored overlapping dots everywhere, matching the colors of each side. And honestly, the more I do it, the more I regret it. Maybe it didn't need a background, maybe the illustration was enough, but I had to try it. It doesn't look bad, I'm just worrying it's too busy. But I already did it, so now I'm adding highlights with a white acrylic marker. And I'm also going to use this marker to draw some dots on top of the drink so it looks a little bit magical. I really like our result. I don't think it's mind-blowing, but I really, really do like it. I think it's cute and it's a good beginning to try this trend. Now, again, I'm going to use this book for the next page that I want to try because I thought a good opposite would be to do something organic versus something like stone or metal or something like that. And with this page that I'm going to do, I think it's perfect because the bunny on top is like pouring nature onto the one on the bottom. This is not how I first envisioned it when I draw this, of course, but I think it's going to work. On this one, I'm actually going to split my page like they do on the trends, but instead of doing it like in the middle, like vertically, I'm going to do a diagonal here so that I have one bunny on each side of my page. Also for this page, I'm thinking I'm going to start coloring the organic side on the top first because it seems easier. It's something I've done before, and I want to do it mostly in greens. I think that's going to be easier for me to accomplish than the stone side, which I still don't know how I'm going to do. I'm going to try something by coloring the sky with a light green that I'm going to try to blend with baby blue clouds. So I'm thinking definitely having added green was a mistake. It looks a little bit weird, but I'm just going to trust the process and carry on with the rest of the page to see if I can improve it or if I have to color on top of it with something. I'm going to color the tree canopy now because that's what I'm most comfortable doing. I am creating a little bit of a gradient, mixing a couple of greens, and I'm going to let that dry and then add texture to it. As it dries, I'm going to color the trunk. I'm going to use this light brown to color it, and then I'm going to go over it with this desaturated green so that the tree reads as green as well. For the bunny, again, bluish green like a baby teal, so everything's integrated. I color everything so the tree is now dry enough so I can add texture. I'm coming back with the same markers I used for the gradient, and I'm just adding little random dots for texture, making the darker dots match the darker areas and the lighter ones overlap the lighter areas. Because the trunk is dry too, I'm coming back with the light brown and I'm adding shadows and more lines on top. Same thing with the bunny and the rest of the elements of the drawing, adding shadows on top with the same marker I used to color them. Now I'm using a different brown marker that's a bit darker, and I'm going to add more texture to the trunk. And I'm also going back to the leaves. The first ones I drew are dry, so I can go over them, adding another layer of a darker color so I can get more depth. Okay, so we're done with the organic side, other than highlights, of course, and now it's time for me to do the stone side. I thought at first I was going to do like metal, but I think stone textures are going to be easier. I have colored a few stones before, so let me see how I bring this to life. I'm going to start by coloring the background with this cold greenish gray, and I'm just covering everything, and then I'll figure out what to do with it later to make it look more like stone. I'm thinking I want the water to be what connects both sides by falling on the statue and bringing it to life. So I'm going to use my pencil to mark the splash zone coming from the watering can, and I'm going to continue coloring gray around it. Now I need to color everything else. I'm using this warm gray for the tree trunk and coloring the ladder with cold grays to make it look like metal. For the bunny, I'm using two markers. I'm coloring it by blending these so it looks more like stone. While all of this dries, I'm going to do some texture on this side of the tree, of the canopy, because it has to be stone as well. So I was thinking like cobblestone, like a path, and then have some moss in between the cracks. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this. I'm not sure if this is going to work, so I'm going to think about it as I color everything else, and I'm gonna go back to the statue and draw little cracks on it too, and I'm gonna add more texture to it with a darker gray marker by adding shadows and drawing some dots on it. I want the seed package to look like stone too, so I'm adding sharp shadows on it by drawing these triangles with different grays. And now I'm gonna go back over the statue with a warm gray to make it look more like real stone. Then some shadows for the tree trunk, and I need something for the background. And I've been thinking this might be a terrible idea because I've never tried this, but I think I could color the whole background to look like marble. So I'm going to start by using the same color that I used to color this, and I'm going to draw these random markings to do the marbles painting. And I'm using the brush tip very softly. I'm barely touching the paper. Now I'm going to go over some of these lines I drew with a darker gray, creating more veining. And I'm not sure if this is working. It's looking weird, but I'm going to follow the process, and I'm going to add white acrylic marker on top too. I'm making these very thin lines or marks, and then I'm smudging some of them a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure, but now that I did this little area, I think I just have to finish the whole thing. Back to the tree, I'm regretting the cobblestone idea. I think it's going to be too much. And now I'm thinking it should look like a huge boulder, or like the tree is made of a lot of rocks held together. So I erased the pencil lines, and I'm going to color the area with warm and cold grays. And while that dries, I'm going to add color to the little bits of this side of the page that are being transformed to an organic life by the water that's touching them. Back to the tree, and now that it's dry, I'm gonna go over it by drawing triangles with different shades of gray, just like I did with the seed package. And now with all of these shadows, I want to change the lines into straight lines because these look way too organic. And as I'm doing this, I'm noticing I'm altering the line weight too much, and now it doesn't look like it was really part of the illustration. It doesn't match. I need these lines to look thinner, so I'm going to use acrylic markers to cover them and to make them look straighter. The acrylic markers are going to allow me to draw more facets on the stones because I have more colors. And now that I'm finished with them and the acrylic is dry, I'm redrawing the lines again, keeping them at the same weight of the existing lines of the drawing so it all matches and it looks like it was drawn this way. Now I have sharper angles, and I'm not sure if this really looks like a bunch of rocks, but we're going with it. I'm going to cover the water drop with an acrylic marker so it looks like it's really pouring out of the can and like it's magic. Okay, and oh, I think I tried to layer too much acrylic too fast without letting the layers dry because I tore the paper a little bit. But that's okay. I'm going to let it dry and come back to it. And while it does, I'm adding little magical dots on everything else to separate both scenes. I'm adding dots to the split. But the way I like to do it is to add some colorful dots first in the same colors of each side. And then I like to come back with the white marker to add more dots on top and to make it look magical. Now I'm gonna use the same marker to add highlights everywhere. Okay, this was something, and the amount of markers I used on this page is unbelievable. I had to use so many acrylic markers for this part, and it doesn't look like it, but I use so many shades of green. But this is the result. I'm actually really happy with it. I don't think the marble looks like marble. It looks like strata, maybe. I don't know, but I think the idea is solid, and I like how you can clearly see there's two sides of this story and there's something going on, like the transformation. Yeah, I like it. So, not perfect, but I'm gonna move on and we're gonna say bye to love, and I'm gonna grab my other book, Cozy Forest. And on this one, I have a page that I wasn't sure how to color. Like it has a lot of details, so I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. So I thought, okay, maybe this one's perfect for this trend. Also, this one is almost symmetrical, even though it's not. So I think it works for the opposite thing. And this one, I'm also going to divide in the middle with my pencil, but I'm thinking instead of doing it like right in the middle here, it's going to have to be a little bit in a diagonal so that I have a nice balance between one side and the other one. And also this one I think is going to be really fun because I'm going to do grayscale and rainbow, which I love. You know what? Let me erase this line and redraw it because I don't think I had it in the middle and I don't think both sides were symmetrical. And of course, I want the amount of color and gray in this illustration to be equal. Okay, so that half line is now good, and I'm gonna draw some other lines to roughly divide the colorful area into 7 parts to know where to color each rainbow color. And now I'm going to make these lines lighter and start coloring. I'm going to start with the largest flower. It seems the easiest one to tackle because it's mostly on the orange area with the top on the red, which I can lightly blend in. Now I'm doing the flower underneath, which will be yellow, dark yellow. And I'm gonna color the one next to this one with a lighter yellow. I've colored rainbow pages before, but what I'm gonna do on this one is a little bit different since I'm going to color each element according to where they lay on the areas of the page with one color, and I'm not gonna have a gradient go through the elements, if that makes sense. Like, for example, this nail is in between the purple and the blue side, but it's more on the blue side. So I'm just going to cover it entirely with blue, but I'm going to have lightly mixed gradients on the other elements that fall on the background or that are not as important as characters. This would make more sense if my entire page were rainbow and then you could clearly see monochromatic elements within the rainbow page, but I still wanted to try it for this one and see how it goes. So now I have a blue snail that's going to be laying on some purple grass, which is going to have a little bit of a gradient. Then this character is going to be sitting on a greenish rock, and I'm going to color the seedling that's coming out of the flower with some very dark pinks, adding a little bit of red, but not that much. For the background, I chose pastels for all of the colors and I'm creating a soft gradient with them, having these blend where I need to. I love coloring with rainbow colors, but I have to be honest because someone asked about this the other day on my Instagram account. I don't really look at the coats as much. I just go for it because it's fun and everything kind of goes. But now I have a bigger mess than I had before. Let me just show you how many markers I have out because you can't see from that angle. For this central character, I want this chunky to look super special, like he's bringing in the color or the glow to the scene. So I'm gonna have all of these pastel colors that I use on the background. I'm gonna use them here on its side and I'm gonna have them blend into the yellow to give him a glowier look. I actually like how this one turned out. I think he looks very happy. As I finished coloring the character, everything else on the page dried, so I'm gonna use the same markers I used to color the elements to go over things to create shadows. For the snail, I just grabbed the wrong shade of blue, so I made it messy, but I'm just gonna let it dry and see if I can fix it later. In the meantime, I'm gonna go back to adding shadows. That's done, so back to the snail. I'm gonna try to fix it with the lightest color I used on it, just blending everything out and super saturating the paper with the alcohol ink to see if it fixes it. Sometimes it does. This is a mess. I'm gonna tidy up everything, put all of the colorful markers back in before I do grayscale because I'm not gonna use them, and this is not okay. I have put every marker back in its place and I'm now ready to do the grayscale. I'm starting with this super light grays, like one is almost white, but I think these are going to be best to do the gradient on this side so I can match the value on the colorful side, which ended up looking pretty pastel. With the background on, I just have to color everything, and what I'm going to do is match the value from the other side. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and use that, and oops, I left this part blank. I'm just going to color that with red, and then go for all of the other flowers and elements of the illustration. I think I'm not getting all of the values right, but everything is looking right, and this side was much easier to color because you really can't go wrong. I even warmed up the bee a little bit by using a warmer gray on top, and it still doesn't look bad. It still does not look like that warm shade doesn't belong. It looks good. I'm also creating a light gradient for the character in the middle with the same colors I used for the background, so it still looks illuminated like it does on the color side. And for the snail, I'm adding a few shadows and I'm trying to make it match the blue and to color all of the other flowers matching the other side, the values of the other side, and finish coloring everything. Then I'm gonna add some hard shadows with one of the medium gray markers. I'm not switching markers for the shadows. And now that everything's completely colored, I'm gonna do the same thing I did in the previous shape, and I'm gonna add the magical dots on the split. And here, well, just like I did last time, I'm gonna add colorful dots before, red dots where the red is, purple where the purple is, etc. And then I'm gonna go over that with my white acrylic marker to add more magical white dots and then highlight everything. And that's it. I'm done. Okay, maybe this one is my favorite because it's the most colorful one and the more dramatic, like opposite. But I have to say I really had fun doing this. It's good that I tried. Maybe now I can improve and get concepts that are stronger. I don't think all of them are like wow, like showstoppers like some of the pieces I've seen, but I do like that in all of them you get the idea, you get the opposite. And I also like that for the kitties one, where is it, for this one I didn't really split the page, it's just the opposites spending time together, and I think that works too. So yeah, let me show you everything we colored today so you can get a last look. And with that, I hope I'll see you next week with a brand new video. And of course, that you're having the most wonderful day. Bye.